Every time the Astros speak, ish gets worse.
It does.
Commissioner Rob Manfred spoke yesterday. A reaction to that, not good. And with each passing quote, players all over the league are growing more and more angry at how this thing was handled. Things hit a new level today when one of the biggest names in baseball, Mike Trout, a guy who never says anything controversial, said something controversial.
You want him to be more talkative? Here you go.
I don't agree with the punishments. You know, the player's not, getting anything. You know, there was a player-driven, thing. You know, it's tough. You're taking the trophy away, taking the rings away. I think they should definitely do something. I don't know what, but to cheat like that and not get anything, it's sad to see for sure.
Let the kids play. Tim, can you believe where we're at here?
Kinda. But every time Rob Manfred speaks, seems like it gets worse. Every time an Astro speaks, it seems like it gets worse. And the one thing that I said earlier in the show that still rings true and that I can't believe is that the players are more pissed off at this than they were about steroids. The players are the ones dictating that those protected by their union be punished for what they did. And Rob Manfred basically said, listen, we would have suspended players, but it probably wouldn't have made it through any sort of appeals process that would have come up, and therefore they wouldn't have been suspended. Now, whether that's a crock of bleep or not, that's where we're at. But it's shocking to me to see how mad players are and how much the Houston Astros remain defiant in the face of that fury from the rest of the players in Major League Baseball.
Well, you and I weren't here Friday. Cody Bellinger stepped in front of the mics at Dodgers camp.
Eviscerated them.
And he said, well, Jose Altuve also stole an MVP from Aaron Judge in 2017.
Right.
So things were getting real. So Carlos Correa of the Astros, who for some reason has anointed himself the spokesperson in all this, and quite frankly, someone had to, but
right.
I think he's taking things a little far, Tim. This was a part of his interview with Ken Rosenthal on Saturday that aired on MLB Network in relation to what Bellinger said about stealing an MVP,
right.
Altuve and Judge. Listen to this. It's coming. I swear to you, this clip is going to be so good. He's talking about also maybe not taking off his shirt after. Here it is. I'm done, Phil.
Okay. Cody Bellinger's job is to look for information, get informed, know the facts for sure before he stands in front of cameras to talk about other players. You should get informed. You should be informed before you talk about other players. If you don't know the facts, then you got to shut the up.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now we have former MVPs and some of the best young stars in the game tell each other to go bleep themselves on camera. That's where we're at. So another part of that interview, Timmy, was Carlos Correa saying, just so you know, Jose Altuve didn't want his shirt ripped off at the end of Game 6 of the 2019 ALCS. Not just because his wife gets mad when his when his chest is exposed, but he had a tattoo that he didn't like that looked ugly.
Bad tattoo?
Carlos Correa Saturday said it was a bad tattoo. Jose Altuve did not want exposed after Game 6 of the 2019 ALCS. Your initial reaction to that?
He better have a tattoo on his left breast. Otherwise, people are going to know exactly what happened here.
It's interesting you bring that up, Tim. Apparently, he was walking around the clubhouse today shirtless. Apparently, walking around the clubhouse shirtless is fine with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there was a tattoo spotted. Now, he met the media after putting a shirt on, and he was asked about a number of things, including whether or not he had the tattoo and whether or not he actually liked having the trash can hit for him back in 2017, because Correa in that interview said Altuve didn't like it. Altuve didn't ask for it. Altuve didn't crave it. This is what Jose said earlier today.
When did you get your tattoo? When? Middle of the season in San Francisco.
Did you never use the trash can?
Yeah, like I always said, and I'm not going to say this right now, I always said that I like to talk about team, I like to talk about team results. I'm here taking full responsibility for the team. I appreciate what Carlos did. Believe me, that tells you about what kind of person, what kind of teammate he is.
Again, Jose Altuve in the Astros clubhouse earlier today in spring training.
All right, here's one of the things that I've remained consistent on. We should have known who was cheating. Because Correa said Reddick didn't do it, Kemp didn't do it, and Altuve didn't do it. And Major League Baseball did all of the research, and Rob Manfred came out and he said, we looked into all of this. Don't worry about it. Everything's okay. It's way too complicated. You can put an asterisk beside it. You can do whatever you want. It's way too complicated to take the rings back, take the bonuses back, take the title back. But what you're left with is Cody Bellinger being really pissed off, or Aaron Judge being really pissed off, or whoever you want being really. Why aren't the names being leaked? Why haven't Major League Baseball said Jose Altuve had nothing to do with this?
They were all given immunity. And part of immunity is your name's not out.
But why?
Because they at some point have to make a call. Who do you get? Do you just get the players? Or do you send a message to every team in the league that if one of your guys does this from this point on, the manager's losing his job and the GM's losing his job? What's more effective to you?
Let's be honest here. None of that was from Major League Baseball. There was a year of suspension. Then they lost their job.
But that's the residual effect of that.
But what
Alex Cora also lost his job. Carlos Beltran didn't manage a game for the Mets and lost his
Major
job.
League Baseball had nothing to do with that.
That report had nothing to do with that? The 9-page report they put out had nothing to do with that?
They could have said you're banned from baseball, but they didn't. They suspended for a year. And then the report came out. What would happen to the players if they named the players? What I'm suggesting here, again, is if you name the players, you're exonerating the ones who need to be exonerated.
Right.
And the ones who need to be punished are punished. And what Major League Baseball did was, everything's okay, we got it covered. And the rest of baseball is saying, no, you don't. You screwed this up, and we want people to be accountable. And how Major League Baseball could miss that by that much, to me is, and you can say they lost their jobs because of the reaction to the report. The report didn't make them lose their job. It was the reaction.
They put out the report. The report makes them lose their job, but the report had nothing to do with them losing their job?
The reaction to the report.
So the report had everything to do with them losing their job.
Why are you focused on that? That seems ridiculous. But in the grand scheme of things, of what we're talking about, what's the difference between the report saying it and then people reacting to it, or the report not? Why didn't they name names?
Because they
what
needed the information.
What I'm saying is they got it wrong.
Right.
And who gives a bleep at how they lost their job? They didn't lose it from Major League Baseball. They could have banned them for life. They didn't.
Ban them for a year. But they didn't ban them for life. You're right. You're right. I can't believe I'm taking Manfred's side on this kind of, but I am. I can't believe I'm here. But I'm kind of here.
Well, no, you can sit on that island. You're on Rob Manfred's side. Go ahead.
I'm fine with that.
Argue that one.
I'm fine with that.